Well, I'm Jules.
I'm Jason.
And
we doing spookies. Hey, it's the second spooky of the spookiest of all seasons.
Yep. Third year in a row.
Election year. Election time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Do you like spookies?
Why do we drink these?
I don't, because we need a shot.
I know. And it's effective. It's good Lord.
We could shotgun a beer, but I think that sounds like it would suck.
That ain't going to do shit.
Yep, spooky season.
Mm-hmm. Number 2.
I think this is good. I went for a tried and true here. This is a Jason pick.
Yeah. Surprisingly.
We watch a bunch of shit every goddamn spooky season.
Last year.
And I said, listen up, Jason. You don't really remember Hellraiser other than that you don't like it, but those first 2 are supposed to be pretty good. Mm-hmm. Let's watch one of those.
I got to tell you, our track record for 80s horror, 2 for 2.
This and From Beyond?
Mm-hmm.
God, we've been at this for a long time.
Yeah. So, Hellraiser, 1987. Hour and 34 minutes.
You know, I used to read a lot of Clive Barker books.
Mm-hmm.
A lot later in my life that I found out he was gay. You think that
I didn't know that.
Tipped off thoroughly.
Okay. I've only read The Thief of Always. Uh-huh. I loved it. Loved it, Jason.
Yeah, no, The Thief of Always is great. I was trying to remember what book it was that had like really detailed descriptions of anal sex and how it feels.
Sacrament is the name of the book.
Penthouse. Oh. This movie had an estimated budget of £1 million.
Oh. Of 1 million pounds of gold?
Mm-hmm. Worldwide gross, 14.6 million.
So this was like a theatrical hit?
Yes. It was 1987, though. So back then, movies played for 6 months because there was VCRs were still burgeoning and cost $100 per tape.
But if the movies were shit, they didn't last that long.
No, God, no.
This is a British film? Is that what you're telling me by telling me the budgets in that?
Well, it was filmed across the pond.
Okay, is it like a British production though? Would they claim it as their own? Did it get like good play over there, you think?
Well, I don't know, because the worldwide gross and the US and Canada gross were almost identical. So I'd have to assume it played there.
I mean, they only have 2 movie theaters.
That's true. Probably couldn't get in because of Star Wars.
Right, there's that one in the Clock Tower, Big Ben.
This movie was originally set in England.
Okay.
I assumed it was England, but then I realized as I was watching it, they never actually say where it is.
Soundstage?
The only one location was used for a soundstage, the attic, and that was only for the visual effects scenes. Otherwise, they filmed this entirely in an actual house.
Okay, I don't feel like we were outside very much ever, except for when she's like stumbling down the streets. Do we hang out outside much?
I feel like maybe we see the daughter outside a little bit.
Yeah, when she's stumbling down the streets.
Yeah.
After she's touched that magic box.
Uh-huh. But yeah, I know you're right. It is a very contained. But they decided that it would be more marketable if it was set in America. That's why a majority of the actors are dubbed with more American-sounding voices.
Is the stepmom? She's British.
She's the only one because she's such a pivotal character. Uh-huh. They don't dub her, but
she's got an accent in the movie, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't remember now
because they left New York. He goes, I thought you want to be back home, even though the house I believe is in his family.
Yeah, it's his brothers.
I thought it was his parents.
Oh, but his brother's been.
But they both are the heir of the estate because he goes, I couldn't sell it because of Frank.
I'm sure he can't say no to some money though.
Mm-hmm, and cocaine.
Frank the Tank.
Frank White.
Hey, yo.
Hey, roll down your window.
This was the directing debut of Clive Barker.
Oh, he directed this one?
He did.
Oh, I thought he directed the second one.
No, this was his baby. Before this, he had only directed 2 short films. It was also the film debut of Ashley Lawrence.
Is that the daughter?
It is, Kirsty. He obviously wrote the novel, The Hellbound Heart, which is an adaptation of.
I don't think it's a novel.
In doing so, he changed some of the source material. Larry is called Rory in the book.
Rory?
The end. No, Kirsty in the book is a close family friend.
Okay. What? Of who?
Of Larry.
The dad?
Mm-hmm.
Is she young?
Well, I don't know. But they changed it to be his daughter.
That makes sense.
To create some incestuous undertones with the brother. Because he goes, come to daddy.
How could she be a fucking family friend at that age?
She wouldn't have probably been that age. She probably just wasn't lady their age. Yeah. And they were like, no, younger and sexier. Also, Pinhead is in the book, but the lead Cenobite is Butterball.
Fucking Butterball.
You believe that? Although in the book, Pinhead is not designated as either male or female. The novel's description hints at more feminine characteristics. Hence the female actor playing Pinhead in the remake. The female Cenobite, Butterball, the Chatterer, and the Engineer all had more prominent roles in the book. They couldn't have Butterball or Chatterer espouse the dialogue written for them because their prosthesis didn't allow it. So all of the dialogue pretty much went to the lady, who didn't have a name.
She's not the Engineer? Is the Engineer that double thing?
I have to assume, because there's no other thing. Not only that, but the lady that played the lady, that's Clive Barker's cousin. She had like weird throat stuff.
It's like peeled open, but then there's metal.
Suggested it was somehow sexual. She could do sexual things with it.
I mean, their whole thing is they're all sexual.
It's very sexual.
I don't. How would the Chatterer be sexual?
He just bites your nips.
Like Butterball seems like he's like a slimy oaf. Like I can see him squirming all over you and sucking on you. But fucking Chatterer, I don't see Chatterer getting down with anything fun.
No, just chattering around. According to Clive Barker, when he was writing the script, Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th, those are all hot properties. And they were like, hey, you should make Pinhead like a joke guy.
No, fuck.
And he was like, no. There's something, he wanted him to be more like Christopher Lee's portrayal of Count Dracula. He says, and I quote, part of the chill of Dracula surely lies in the fact that he is very clearly and articulately aware of what he is doing. You feel that this is a penetrating intelligence, right? It's, I find intelligence scary, particularly twisted intelligence. It's one of the reasons why Hannibal Lecter is scary. It's because you always feel that he's going to be 3 jumps ahead of you. That's a Checkers reference, by the way. When Clive Barker first showed the film to his mother, she wept tears of joy.
Do you think that's true?
He leaned over and he whispered, that will be the happiest you'll be for the next 2 hours.
Oh, it's before she watched
It's the movie starting. She sees his name. She goes, oh, my son.
He was already a great author at this point. What
But he
a
was
cunt
a director
mom.
now. She didn't like books.
I guess.
Jennifer Tilly reportedly auditioned for the role of Kirsty. Lance Henriksen was offered the role of Frank. He turned it down, though, because he didn't want to be caught in a movie that could potentially have a series of sequels. Oddly enough, he is in Hellraiser Hellworld from 2005.
So is that like 5 or 6?
Once they stop numbering them, it's just, it's not going to be good.
Well, I think it's only 1 and 2 that are good. And 2 is like a slight step down, but is not...
Right.
It's in the same ballpark.
Because they get lost after 2 in assuming that all of the interest is the Cenobites.
And that's incorrect.
And nobody gives a shit about the Cenobites.
I mean, they do, but they're
cool, but,
yeah.
I don't need to know Pinhead's backstory. I don't need to see his pins removed and him reduced to a World War I army colonel.
Oh my God, that's true, isn't it?
Yeah, they zap him. And he goes, oh, I'm just a normal man now. It's fucking stupid. Doug Bradley plays Pinhead. He was originally offered a choice between 2 roles in the film, Pinhead and one of the mattress movers.
Yeah?
He nearly turned down the lead Cenobite role because he was like, oh man, I'm going to have makeup on. I need to be seen. Which is good because look at his career. He made the right choice. Claire Higgins, she plays the mother or the wife. I don't know what she is.
Stepmom.
She hates horror movies. When she first saw this movie at the premiere, she left after 10 minutes, and she has never seen the whole movie.
Oh, she didn't stick around and watch herself get fucked? A bunch?
And listen to guys lie to her when they say that she's so beautiful.
Yeah, we got to get into this.
All right.
There's going to be some real misogyny coming your way.
Thus concludes my trivia.
Okay.
And thus precludes the synopses.
Yes.
Hit me with it.
I will. Hellraiser. Good guy Larry, Andrew Robinson, a good father and good husband, convinces his whore wife Juliet, Claire Higgins, no relation to Jules, to upend their life in New York to move into an old family home in London, although I don't think it is ever specified that it's London. But everybody is so English, I am assuming. It turns out Julie is apparently well acquainted with the house, since she and Larry's dirtbag brother Frank, Sean Chapman, have been carrying on a masochistic affair for a while, all while plotting to run away to, let's say, Malaysia. I don't think you spelled that right. Their plans turn to shit once Frank starts fucking around with a puzzle box that sends him to some semblance of hell, where he is simultaneously tortured and pleasured by the Cenobites. Butterball. Frank escapes and is trying to regain his corporeal body by absorbing blood of other dudes, first by osmosis, then by sucking directly. Shit goes sideways, and Larry's daughter, Christy, Ashley Lawrence, is a super integral part of this movie, but this synopsis is already so fucking long that I would...
Nay, to lay heaven in order to Hellraiser. I don't know what happened or what it was supposed to be. The end.
Okay.
Yeah. So, man, Hellraiser. Boy, I liked this movie. Giving me some spooky feelings.
Oh, really? Oh, okay.
Giving me some boner feelings.
Okay.
You know, when they're just beating dudes to death. And
yeah, I tried to talk to my sister about this a little bit. Because I said we were going to watch this. And she's like, oh, I don't like that movie. And I was like, I didn't either. And she's like, let me know what you think. And I was like, I think it's easy to get distracted by Pinhead and the Cenobites and what you think this movie's going to be.
Exactly.
And you get disappointed that it's not that.
Yeah.
It is a wonderfully creepy little film. The
The
story is great.
It's fucked, man. And there's so much imagination. And it's really goopy. And
It's fucking disgusting a lot of the time.
Yeah, when he's coming back, it's like...
When that shit is just goo dripping off him and it's almost like milky, but
yeah,
body slime.
And he's touching her lips.
That shit was unbelievable.
Wasn't it? Yeah, this movie, holy crap, man. It's not... It's hard because it just goes right into it, right? Like you find out she's been carrying on with like this alternate life, and this house has significance, and he just drops a little blood, and it's just like, man, we were off to the races in this movie.
I just feel like you're rocketing ahead. Is this like the preview of the episode before you get to the episode?
Yeah. Okay. Currently on We Doing Filmographies.
All right, so we open and we're in Malaysia. Where are we?
Malaysia. Malays. It's just a real mopey town.
He's buying the puzzle box.
What's your pleasure, Mr. Cotton?
The box.
And Frank's got the most filthy fucking fingernails. It's disgusting.
I'm like, is this Vietnam? The war? Because he's got like fatigue pants and a tank top. So yeah, he buys this cube and he's sweating. And he goes to his room and he puts candles around him in the shape of a square. And he's just fingering the box.
Why does it seem like he knows what it is already? He does? It does seem like that was his plan. It was the next level for what he was seeking.
Yeah, because I'm like, how does he know about this thing? If you're looking for like depravity, you're not just going to like buy a Rubik's Cube, unless you know that it opens, the gateway to hell and pleasure.
I really think that you don't need to get that puzzle box. I really feel like there's enough drugs and sex you can just get by. He's young too.
Yeah, he's doing it. Oh, I'm really doing this thing. And then all of a sudden it's zapping with electricity, which seems a little not good.
No, that the effect?
Yeah, well, the effect, but also the fact that it's doing it. And then all of a sudden, whoosh, pshing, the chain. Whoosh, pshing, on the flash. It's pulling him.
It's interesting, too, because I had a really nice remastered copy, and boy, you just see it tear into that fake-looking skin.
Wait, is the Cenobite putting the pieces of his face together before this or after this? On the floor, he's just got, like, pieces of his face.
I think he was just investigating. I don't think he's really putting it together.
Well, he's making a funny thing to send to the other guys. And so he's dead. So Larry, who does seem like a nice guy, but he's also like a perverted father in something. I didn't bother to look.
Probably Walker, Texas Ranger.
He goes, hey, Julia, I brought you from New York to an undisclosed location. I thought we could get away from it all and you'd be back where you're from, he says, which is why I'm like, oh, well, she has an English accent. So, and all of these, everything we see is fucking English. She goes, oh, I don't know. I mean, there's like mold on the wall.
Roaches.
It's like visibly a bad place.
Yeah.
And then she goes, okay, we'll live here. And then she screams upstairs and he goes up. What's going on? There's a homeless bed here. Oh, that whatever. And then she goes to another room and he goes into a room and there's a bunch of rotten food and roaches, as you said. But I guess whatever the event is, he's in the woodwork.
Oh, Frank? Yeah. It's just a scrap of him, dude.
And she just immediately starts remembering him just rocking her world.
He should not. So there's a scrap of him under the floorboard.
Apparently.
That doesn't make any sense because Pinhead hits that button, everything goes in there.
Yeah.
And how would his chunk of flesh get under? I mean, I guess maybe they're doing some real weird sex shit with those floorboards, but.
So in the flashback, she opens up the door and Frank's out in the rain.
I'm brother Frank.
Oh, yes.
I came for the wedding.
I'm Frank. Let me in. And she goes, oh, but Larry's like not here.
So I can't come in.
No, you should.
Okay, yeah, please come in, Frank.
And then he pulls out his knife. Like he's homeboy from fucking The Wraith. Just quick with the knife.
I'm going to cut you up an
apple.
apple.
Oh my God, yeah.
Real good.
Finger me with that.
Oh, the knife?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Which Freddy does in a movie, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, you do.
I hate those movies.
So, they start fucking and he's like a real sado and she's a real masochist.
That's pretty fucked up that, like, he immediately fucks his brother's wife.
You're gonna let me kiss the bride?
How fucked is that?
And she's about it.
Okay, wait. We didn't talk about this lady.
Julia.
The wife?
Yeah. What about her, Jason?
Julian, I'm going to pin this exclusively on her hair.
Which changes throughout the movie.
But it's
never
always
good.
basically that mullety shape.
Yeah. She's creepy looking.
This is like Sean Young in No Way Out. Is that what it's called? No Escape?
It is, yeah. Both in the French territory.
The fucking fee mullet is a really bad look. Gosh,
No.
I feel like with the right haircut, I might be lured into this lady, but I find her like a gross aunt who smokes a lot.
She's like the human version of the female gremlin.
Oh, okay. That's pretty legit. I know exactly what you're saying.
And also like Susan's mom from Seinfeld.
Okay. I know. I can picture her too.
Neither of which, well, maybe the gremlin, but I don't find them too attractive.
No, I don't understand why you would ruin your brother's life by fucking her. I don't.
Well, Frank, I mean, whatever.
Frank's a bad dude, yeah.
I guess we have no idea what his deal is, but he seems to like fucking and
doing the wrong thing.
And drugs, I think also they mention. I don't know, man. Maybe he wasn't Nam.
It really bums me out that I didn't find this lady attractive because I felt like that would have been a whole nother level to this, but
at all.
The entire time I was just like, who the fuck would go home with her?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the 80s are a different time. Man, can you imagine a lady with this haircut trying to like get you to come home? Like, no.
Kirsty is Larry's daughter, not Julia's daughter. And she goes, I got a room. I'm not staying with you guys. And he goes, what? Okay.
Dad, I'm trying to have my own life.
And Larry's trying to move a bed in with two movers. First off, why is he doing anything? There's two movers. It's one mattress. And the one mover guy, he's really, we didn't mention this. This is probably the best time to mention this.
There's a nail sticking out of the wall.
There is that. When the wife walks by the mover, he goes like, oh, and she looks back and he goes, oh shit. And I feel like she's done that before in the movie. Some weird instance where a man is around that's not Larry and she's just like, real quick, here's my cooch kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Like she just seems like a real beast. So Larry cuts his hand really good.
It's so fucking stupid, dude.
And she's in the attic just touching herself, reminiscing. All of a sudden she turns around and Larry's standing there holding his hand, presenting it to her.
Halfway passed out.
And she goes, Larry, what the hell? He goes, it's blood.
Is it deep?
I don't know. I haven't looked. You know me and blood. I'm going to faint.
You're not going to faint.
It was a nail sticking 6 feet out of the wall.
I'm gonna throw up. She goes, just relax, Larry. She slaps him. And his blood, which he should get looked at because it resembles red paint.
Yeah.
It falls on the floor and they leave and then the floor starts sucking it in.
Yeah, the wood's really dry.
Yeah.
Just slurps it right up.
Feed me, Seymour.
But there's a hunk of Frank, just a little chunk of Frank underneath the floorboard.
Yeah, and
sucks up that blood.
We see molecular shit happening, and then all of a sudden goop starts coming from the floor, and then two fucking arms shoot out.
Those arms, they kind of look like legs.
They got no
but they're
hands, but they form fingers.
Like stick pieces.
Oh, it's so... Ugh.
It's like a little beef jerky, man.
And it's like what you assume will be the head. It's not the head. It's like two wieners.
Yeah.
like two pineals, just, and then all the head forms separate, and it sticks it in there, and it fucking comes up, and it's like a emaciated mummy man.
Isn't that Mr. Show where they got that little beef jerky plate? It's like that.
I dip myself neck down into acid. Awesome. Titanica is the name of the band. And this is really effective. They use a lot of reverse shots, a lot of stop motion, I think.
Yeah.
And just layers and layers of goop.
It's fascinating because it doesn't look great. It's cool.
Yeah.
I could see really being into this stuff in the late 80s and early 90s. And people argue for practical effects.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, have you seen The Thing in the last 5 years? Like, you watch that on an HD TV and, like, some of that shit looks terrible.
For here, because it's not going for any general semblance of realism, because, I mean, it's what's happening.
Yeah, it works fine.
It works just fine. Yeah. The weird nubs, and then all of a sudden the fingers shoot out.
I mean, I laughed loud when the pieces came out.
I was like... That's what I was like.
Oh my, this is real.
Yeah. Holy cow, eh?
A man is being reanimated. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fine. And then he's like just a guy in Skeletor makeup. But she comes in like, what's going on in here? He goes, hey, baby.
Julia.
Yeah.
I need some blood and pussy.
I need it. And she goes, well, where am I going to get blood? And he goes, just bring some dudes here.
Oh, give me a whole bowl.
But then he goes, he hears her talking later, and he goes, Kirsty. So she starts going to the airport singles bars.
Is it the airport?
It feels like an airport Radisson.
Do you think that do you think he had no soul before, or do you think this is a byproduct of what he's been through? The whole, like, wanting to eat his niece.
I don't know, because even though Frank is a bad guy when he's reanimated, I feel like he's a completely different person than the Frank we've seen.
Well, I mean, we don't have any feeling for the Frank we've seen. He said something off camera. His dirty hands were on screen when he was speaking, right?
No, I mean, you see him talking to her from outside.
Oh, the flashback?
And when he's cutting off her bra, they talk. She goes to slap him, and that's when he puts his finger in her mouth. She goes, oh, yeah, just like a cocktail weenie. Just as greasy.
Short and greasy.
Yeah. So I'm like, is this even the same actor as the Frank that we've seen before?
It is. It's me.
So she's bringing dudes home and she's just braining them like she's the wife from that episode of Luther.
That first murder was really something when she beats that guy.
Because,
like,
yeah, well, the whole thing is something. Because she brings him home. And he starts kissing her and she goes, oh, and he goes, you're not changing your mind, are you?
Right.
He grabs her a little bit. He goes, I'm sorry, baby.
She's like, let's go upstairs.
Yeah, okay.
Because she definitely doesn't want to fuck him. She wants slimy Frank.
And he goes, where's the bed? And she goes, do we need a bed? And he goes, all right.
Yeah.
Nothing like digging my knees into wood.
Or up against the wall.
More wood. And so he turns around and she hits him with a hammer. And she starts beating him in the face. His jaw's all fucked up.
Yeah.
And Frank comes
scurrying over. His legs don't work yet.
Yeah, they're all limp.
Leave. I don't want you to see this.
And so what does she do? She stays and watches.
Only for a moment.
Quite a bit of time. Okay. Enough that,
hey, your moment and my moment, I guess they're different.
You're seeing it. And then she goes, ah. She leaves.
I don't want to watch him suck the life out of this guy.
And he just goes right for the dick and he's just sucking the life out of this guy. All we see him do is put his hands sort of into their clavicle.
And it seems to suck the life force from them?
It's dick hands, but they're reverse. Mm-hmm. So they suck instead of pee.
Okay. It's just... So, I mean, that's what it's doing. It's the life force...
Although it seems like between guy 2 and 3, there's not much improvement.
Bro, I would like to touch on this also.
Please.
Because there are big jumps in the very beginning. A fucking bloody hand makes him reanimate.
Yes.
The first
guy...
Almost
entirely, I would say.
Yeah. She feeds him like 3 more guys and there's like no progress. I thought he was going to be Frank at one point. He never becomes Frank.
No, he just puts on clothes and gets them all bloody.
Ugh, isn't that nasty?
What the fuck, dude? Because when we first see him, he's pallid. He's like yellowish, very bony.
A lot of like
a real vampire Lestat thing going
Yeah.
on, right? The hand got him from nothing to that. And then this guy's body gets him from that to really muscly and red
Yeah, like
with a little bone showing.
that the human body picture.
Yeah.
Where you take the skin off and you
Yeah.
just see that.
It's like that guy with the afro,
Yeah. What's his name?
Mr. Body,
Oh, nice.
I think.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And
Except for he's dripping goop.
then,
Everything's
because
gooey.
she kills 3 men.
That sounds right. Including her husband, or no?
She doesn't kill him, but Frank does remove his flesh.
He's been killed.
Yeah, she doesn't do it, though.
Okay.
She waits. She lures him up there, but I'm pretty sure she kills 3. Well, yeah, she starts killing 3 men. Frank probably finishes the job, and then she just stores them in the room where they keep furniture that they put sheets over.
It's a real cutting class situation.
Yeah.
You're like, oh yeah, the bodies have to go somewhere. That was really bizarre after the first murder, where she scoops that body up in her arms and takes him away.
Because Larry comes home.
But why would Larry go into that weird room if she's not in there being weird in that room?
Yeah.
I don't think he would go in there.
That's just it. They live on the 2nd floor.
Yeah.
She goes up to the 3rd floor. One of them's the room that you wouldn't go in because it's got furniture with sheets over it.
To touch her breasts and think about Frank.
Now, Kirsty's been around this entire time. Nothing's really happening with her. So eventually,
She's got that dorky boyfriend.
oh yeah, oh God, when he's doing the cigarette trick,
Yeah.
she's like, I want to fuck him. He just put a cigarette in his mouth and then brought it back out.
He can do tongue things.
It was reverse shot,
Yeah.
by the way.
Okay.
He didn't really do most of that. Yeah, he looks like flock of seagulls.
Yeah, I'm wondering, that guy, he's got like a little pinch of an interesting look.
Was he giving you Don McKellar vibes?
Also, like, kind of stupid looking. I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a real dingus, and she is pretty fine.
Yeah.
He makes a remark at dinner because they're all having dinner with other people. There's a moment where they're all drinking, and he offers the daughter a drink, and she says something to the effect of, no.
Okay, stop. I'm not going to be able to stand up.
So lie down.
Well, and it's like the dad's right fucking there, dude. And he's just like, you want more? I got root beer. So, yeah, like, and throughout this entire movie, Frank mentions being tortured a little bit. And that's when you see some Cenobite action. But for the vast majority of this movie, it's not about Pinhead, and it's
No, not at all. I don't even know if you needed to see him in the beginning, but I guess.
yeah, whatever, you know. I mean, it's a cool looking design, but yeah, it's not like Hellraiser, Hell on Earth, where they're taking over. What they designed the way they looked at it was hell or whatever is like a jail, and the Cenobites are the guards, and the prisoners are the ones being tortured or whatever.
I mean,
And the box is the key to the cell. Argue that.
I don't think it's hell.
Good point.
Like, I don't know. I
No,
mean,
it's not. That's just it. Because he says they take you to this place where they administer both pleasure and pain, and it's like interchangeable and all consuming and forever, but not forever, because then eventually you're just on a hook.
They could definitely, and probably are definitely demons.
Yeah, it just seems like demonic masochism.
Yeah, it's like some weird horny subset thing. Why does anybody want to be hurt like that?
I don't know.
guess people do, though, right?
Sure, yeah.
Not like that, but
Close enough.
yeah.
You know,
You want to do some hook stuff tonight? Yeah.
viscera. I love it. So yeah, but Frank now he wants Kirsty for some reason because she's young, I guess.
Yeah, delicious.
She's messing around with the box because Frank tries to rape her and she kicks him in the nuts, I think.
Kirsty, it's Frank. It's Uncle Frank.
No.
You remember?
No.
Come to Daddy.
And runs away and grabs the box. Jumps out the window?
But I don't think so. They have that kind of verbal fight where he's like, "Don't touch that." She's like, "You want it? You want it?" I don't think she jumps out the window. I think she just
why am I
bolts.
thinking she
goes
jumps out
front
the
door.
window? Okay. So what does she do? She starts playing with the box.
You and I, you're probably thinking
That's
about
not a
how,
masturbation euphemism either.
you're probably thinking about how we would jump out the window to get away from the
Yeah.
monsters.
Frank's on the loose, but she's using the box, and now she's being captured. And the Cenobites are like, "You wanted pleasure."
Well, she shouldn't have been fucking around with it. Like,
No.
she initially like was just holding it.
Oh, because she's in a
In the hospital.
Psych ward.
She comes to because...
Why is she in a psych ward?
Yeah, I don't know.
1987.
I mean, she passed out in front of everybody.
She did pass out.
She's gripping that box.
Yeah, but
she
you
wakes
just...
up in the hospital, and the
like
doctor's like...
full-fledged. And he's like, I'm going to do some terrible things to you, girl, and nobody's ever going to look for you because I'm doctor.
But she... Boy, you really shouldn't be fiddling with that box. But I mean, whatever, buddy. Hey?
Yeah, well,
this is fucking stupid. You can play with puzzle boxes. They're not supposed to unlock the demons of pleasure.
Which is her point. It's just a puzzle box.
Yeah.
Oh, no, child.
Eat shit, Pinhead.
You summoned us. You knew it.
She didn't, though.
It's written on the side.
I thought that you...
Right there. We put a label. Where's the label?
I mean, they leave you alone completely if you don't touch the puzzle box?
Yeah, just don't do it. They don't exist. It's basically like you're putting on the red dress or red light, Roxanne style.
Yeah.
And they go, oh. And they go, coming and knocking. So she goes, oh, you know what, though? I know Frank Castle.
Oh, yeah, the Punisher?
Oh, we like his work. He's good.
Back the blue.
There you go. And she goes, well, he escaped. And they go, that's an impossibility.
Supposing he had escaped us, what has that to do with you?
I can lead you to hell, and you can take him back instead of me.
Perhaps we prefer you.
Well, if you say he is who he is, maybe we'll let you go. Word. Come back to my house, and at this point, Larry's dead. Frank done killed Larry and is now wearing Larry.
And you can kind of see with skin's bunched up, he's wearing a Larry suit.
And the daughter at first buys it, but then she doesn't. And
I mean, why doesn't she say anything about all the blood smudges on his head?
It's like he attached Larry's hairline to his head.
Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense. But
it doesn't. Why is it bloody there?
Yeah.
It'd be bloody on the back where he unzips him and steps in, you know? And she goes, wait a second. And Julia's like, oh, no, don't fight. He's just going to, rape you. And I'm here for it, I guess.
Bastard!
Oh, hush now. Everything's all right. Frank's here.
Bastard!
Your dear old Uncle Frank.
And then all of a sudden, swooshing. Oh, what the hell, my hand?
Over there?
Whooshing, whooshing. Oh, my other hand. We've come for you, Frank.
No!
That's not... I ran away from you.
I don't want to do this, but I kind of do.
Yeah, let's do it, though.
He's kind of into it, right?
And they're just chaining him up. He's all stretched. They go, oh, and for you, young lady, we're going to take you with us. And she goes, what? That's not the fucking deal I assumed and you never agreed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you should have thought, he said. And so she starts running and gunning with the box. And so she's zapping them with the cube while she's doing it.
Pretty fucking stupid. Each click of it gets rid of one of them. And it gets rid of Pinhead first?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
But he comes back, doesn't he?
No.
Oh, right, because then the fat guy, then the chatter guy, and the lady. And then I think ultimately, she's like slap boxing with the weird thing.
The double thing?
It's like, give me it. She's like, no, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Like she's Steven fucking Seagal.
How did that thing not just kill her instantly?
I don't know. It's got like a big hornet ass.
Yeah.
Just stick her in her brain.
Yeah.
So
or
she gets it.
Anywhere on her body should be incapacitated.
Eat shit. And the movie ends.
It's horrible. I mean, again, it's 1987, but the effects of like yellow electricity coursing over their bodies as they disappear into the cube.
Yeah. Her boyfriend shows up.
Yeah, he's almost killed by that.
And they're running out of the house as it implodes. And then it implodes. And they live happily ever after.
I don't think so, because the second one, she's in a mental hospital.
Yeah, and isn't somebody also reanimating themselves?
I don't know. I just read the synopses. I was very curious about it.
It's a different lady, but is it the same character? No, it's Claire Higgins. She's back.
Okay.
Interesting. Butterball's actually not fat, the actor.
Oh.
Frank's in it, too. Same guy. Maybe it's flashbacks. So then, it's happily ever after.
Yeah.
The end.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this movie quite a bit.
I think it looks great. I think the effects, although a little cheesy, or the CGI stuff's cheesy, but I think the goopy stuff is really good.
I don't think it's CGI. It's probably like done on the frame.
Yeah, what would you call that? Like rotoscoping, maybe even. Originally, Clive Barker got a band, I believe, called Coil to do the soundtrack.
Was it like, it sounds like industrial music? Was it industrial?
It was industrial. Industrial band Coil did the entire soundtrack because Clive Barker was a fan of them. And when they finished the product, he said, the only group I've heard on disc whose records I've taken off because they made my bowels churn. Coil did that to him.
Okay.
Just their music in general.
Not the soundtrack.
Not
okay.
this specific soundtrack, no. But the studio decided to just use a house band to do the score to save money on royalties.
Do you think that industrial shit might have been awesome?
Well, it was a total of 9 tracks, and it can be found on their compilation CD called Unnatural History 2, Smiling in the Face of Perversity, and also on another album called, for some reason, The Unreleased Themes from Hellraiser. Both are quite rare and cost hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars.
That's too much. Maybe somebody can buy it and we can just go over their house and listen to it.
It's probably on YouTube.
It's the new Pelicari. I was actually pretty kind of on the edge of my seat like the last half hour of this.
Yeah, it moves. It held my interest.
Yeah.
It was giving me weird sexual feelings.
I didn't really have that. The one time she was getting fucked pretty good. Mm-hmm. I was into that a little bit.
I mean, all of the talk about rape and...
When she was covered in blood after bludgeoning somebody, it seemed all horny. I thought that was actually the prettiest she looked in.
She was washing herself. Yeah, I really like this movie. I can't believe I watched it when I was like 6 or 7.
I think I was not allowed to watch
it. Should have been against the law.
I think I had to rent this by myself when I was like 16.
I watched Hellraiser 2 with my brother by ourselves on VHS.
I feel like my brother and sister were able to watch this young, but not me. Mm-hmm. Too sexual. So like the Cenobites are almost unneeded, correct?
Yeah.
I mean,
1 is fine. Just have 1.
Sure.
Right. I mean, we don't need all these.
I mean, what's
the point of the fat one?
He's Butterball. I found it scary towards the end when they like came in. I wasn't like terrified of them, but it was intense because it definitely felt like the main girl, Christy, could die. She's not the main girl. The main girl is that stepmom with the mullet. But
do you remember the scene when Pinhead rose up from behind Christy?
We have such sights to show you.
He was on a seesaw, and the crew went on the other side, and
he did seem real big.
He did. He was big time.
Yeah, they seem. I don't know. It's basically 2 pretty cool movies they jammed together. The stronger one is her reanimating fucking Frank in that whole weird situation.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the Cenobites are just bit players in this.
Yeah,
they exist to personify, the evil behind this alternate realm or whatever. But
Pinhead is super cool looking.
He's very cool. So that's the movie, man.
What do you give it a score? What do you give it? What do you give it?
The movie
score?
I would score this a 7.
Oh, really?
7.5. It's a really. I look back on this era and I'm just like, God, it's all cornball. But some of this horror shit, man. God bless them. They were doing something.
Yeah.
Unique.
I'm gonna give it an 8 because, like, I just sat there thinking about, like, boy, this is an interesting story. Like, I don't know that I loved it on the level of an 8, but it was really, I was entertained and surprised that I liked it so much. And it's creepy and it's well done. What do you give
Larry?
The dad?
Yeah, the unsung hero of this. He did nobody any wrong.
I mean, I'd give him a 7. I really didn't find him stupid. I thought he was like a legit dad.
I thought he was going to be a problem.
He got fucked over pretty hard, man.
He did. He had no idea that his brother was fucking his wife, and that now she's conspiring with his reanimated corpse to eventually have him wear him.
Yeah.
That's
pretty fucked up.
And enslave his daughter.
Yeah.
She seemed to have no problem with that either.
Oh, because she's hooked on that dick? I don't think the dick should be so good that you've torn everybody over to that.
I don't even think it's his dick. I just think she has such a addiction to sexual perversion that when he's just like, I'm going to take you, she's like, yes, please. Let's see how this turns out. And that's the end of that chapter. We spooked it up.
We did. Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow with another spooky. I've been Jason.
And I've been Jules.
And we'll see you in hell with the horny hooks.
Yep.